to another story where members of the civil society are at this moment issuing a press briefing on the alleged graft at the National Lands Commission. Let's cross over and listen in to what they are saying.
Details on what they have done that warrants further investigation and action. Pauline Vata will proceed with that.
This statement is in regards to the demand for resignation of Dr. Lenashuru. We have credible evidence to the effect that in a bid to influence the renewal of lease of the 3 parcels of the land, LR 209-923, LR 209-924, LR 209-925, you fraudulently conspired with another commissioner to dispossess Sayani Investments and issue a new grant in respect of the property in which Caxton House stands to other people, namely Sadhani Limited and Keibuko Investment Limited. One David Bano Some is a director of the latter. We have in our possession sufficient evidence to the effect that sometime in the year 2015, the said Some approached you and another commissioner to assist him and his company in actualizing the intention aforesaid to ensure that the deal goes through. You collectively demanded, and Mr. Some paid you Kenya shillings 10 million. So as to influence the fraudulent issuance of a new grant in favor of a company in which he is a director. The evidence clearly states that the money was picked from an address at the junction of Langata Road and the road leading to the Carnival restaurant and handed to you. You seem not to have fulfilled what you had agreed on, and Mr. Some has since severally demanded from you to refund the monies conveyed and or paid to you as a bribe. The photographic video, as well as witness statements in support of the above, would ineluctably affect any reasonable person's assessment of your integrity or suitability of your continued stay as a commissioner of the National Land Commission. You solicited and received the bribe aforementioned on account of your position as a commissioner, and following your representation to the said Mr. Some that you had the capability of influencing the renewal of the lease in favor of a company associated with him. The important effect of this was at all material times you adorned the crest of the commission and was expected to respect and demonstrate the ideals for which the commission stands, key of which is integrity. Your failure to do so has had the unenviable effect of tarnishing the reputation of the Commission, painting it as a commission disloyal to the constitutional and statutory requirements of integrity, transparency, and accountability. We feel impelled to remind you that the National Land Commission is a constitutional body bound by the dictates of the Constitution, as well as the statutes governing ethics and integrity. Article 73 of the Constitution enjoins you to exercise your authority in a manner that brings honor to the nation and dignity of the office, as well as in a fashion that promotes public confidence in the integrity of the office. Indeed, Leadership and Integrity Act, Cap 182 Laws of Kenya, as well as the Public Officers Ethics Act, Cap 183 of the Laws of Kenya, are germane to the issues at hand, and as such, we wish to remind you that Section 9A of the Public Officer Ethics Act obligates you as a public officer to carry out your duties in a way that maintains public confidence in the integrity of your office. Section 11(1) thereof expressly precludes you from using your office to improperly enrich yourself or others. Section 46 of the Anti-Corruption and Economic Crimes Act 2011 fortifies this position further. You are enjoined by the Leadership and Integrity Act, Section 13A and E, to demonstrate honesty in the conduct of public affairs. By your actions aforestated, you have failed this master. We also have evidence in support of the allegation that in order to conceal evidence and muffle witnesses against your criminal conduct, you used your office to harass, intimidate, and coerce the said witnesses into silence. In this regard, we wish to remind you of the provisions of Section 46 of the Anti-Corruption and Economic Crimes Act of 2003. As a member of the Committee on Review of Grants and Dispositions of Public Land, you presided over hearings and determination of propriety or legality of grants and dispositions of public land in a cavalier, haphazard fashion that did not inspire public trust and confidence in your integrity. While you have had this notoriety, it is in the matters of Kanyakwa land in Kisumu and Mwalimu Farm Owners Association in Juja that your conduct and warped decisions have failed to deliver land justice. In many instances, even without having concluded hearings, you purported to make oral determinations and had the same publicized and published in the Kenyan Gazette. The processes above were conducted with the use of taxpayers' money, and the High Court has, in about 98%, overturned your determinations, with the other 2% being sustained where the parties have entered a consent or withdrawn the claims. Article 73(2)(b) of the Constitution enjoined you in being objective and impartial in decision-making and in ensuring that decisions are not influenced by favoritism, other improper motives, or corrupt practices. Article 75(2) of the Constitution precludes you from compromising any public or official interest in favor of a personal interest. Acting in cohort with other commissioners and in the discharge of your responsibility as the chairperson of the Committee on Review and Grants and Dispositions of Public Land, you recommended and had effected compensation of lands whose title deeds had been revoked, despite having been notified of that fact by the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission as well as a fellow commissioner, and thereby occasioned loss of public funds in excess of 200 million Kenya shillings. The said properties related to the acquisition of SGR strips of land in Embakasi Township and Dafu Dupoto. In so doing, you subjugated the principles of public finance set out at Article 201, which requires openness and accountability in financial matters. You also stand indicted under Section 45(2)(b) of the Anti-Corruption and Economic Crimes Act 2003, which criminalizes willful or careless incurring of expenditure of public revenue. Sometime in October 2016, you held public forums at Tomboya Labour College in Kisumu with the purposes of reviewing public grants and dispositions, including public utility land and government houses that had been grabbed by private developers. However, it's only partial and largely biased determination with utmost negation of your role to resolve historical land injustices that has been made by the Commission to date, despite your mandate being that of reviewing historical land injustices as in the National Land Commission Act. These demonstrate your incapacity and incompetence. In very unclear circumstances, the Commission approved the acquisition of land that had been illegally allocated to the East Africa Gas Company and processed their payment of cash of Kenya shilling 300 million. ESCC request of 22nd August 2017 that you furnish them with minutes at which the quantum of compensation was agreed were never responded to. Further, there is no evidence in the Commission's minutes of this issue ever having been discussed during the extant term of the Commission. We have seriously agonized over the issues above, and we can now state with certain affirmation that it requires no laborious analysis to deduce that this state of affairs has led the public to question your impartiality in the discharge of your duties or your integrity altogether. Indeed, the foregoing satisfies the minimum set out at Article 251A, B, and D of the Constitution of Kenya. It is public knowledge that your chairperson, Dr. Muhammad Swazuri, and other officials of the Commission were arrested, arraigned, and charged in court for offences relating to compensation for land for the construction of the SGR linking Nairobi and the coastal city of Mombasa. While there is a good reason to believe that the Commission shares in the collective responsibility for the impact payouts, There is evidence of your complicity in the same. Despite the EACC raising several queries on the evaluation of the SGR land acquisition process, especially those done by Bernard Nzau, the Commission and yourself remain non-committal via letter on 15 May 2017, indicating that Mr. Bernard Nzau had resigned and Mr. Malcolm Kilamoi unavailable working as he was working out in the field. The transaction under question by EACC amounted to 2,647,533,570 Kenya shillings. Excuse me. Further, there are instances where you, in consent of others, approved overpayment in compensation of Dasahe investment and Olomotit, more than 220 million Kenya shillings. Independent valuation in respect thereof return much lower figures. In other instances, project-affected persons compensated on SGR were not published in the Kenyan Gazette, and their details could not be traced. For instance, the payee of SGR plot number 23770 and MNVI 2426 paid a cumulative amount of Kenya shillings for 47,293,570 Kenya shillings. The Commission abdicated its duty on compulsory land acquisition and compensation, hence making the Commission lose money. We have also evidence of your complicity in irregular compensation of Kenya shillings 400 million for parcel grant number LR 46550, LR 14277, Eastern Bypass Mombasa North Airport Road. Other evidence points to serious issues falling within your mandate referred to you and which are not subjected to deliberations by the commissions.